Ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
That's a wonderful good morning back, wasn't it? It's great to be here at Genuine to see all of you as part of our second family here at our second home, which is obviously our sister church from the Open Door back home in Victoria, Canada. So it's great to be back and to just share with you a few thoughts with the Spirit. And one of the things that I'm always fascinated about and passionate about is people's stories, and I'm lucky enough to do a job where I get to hear stories. Happy stories, sad stories, stories that are just of the heart. And one of the things that I find fascinating today with people more than anything else is that while our stories may be different from the country that we're in or the experience that we had, today more than ever, we spend time telling a story of ourselves that we're going to live happily ever after. Now, I like a good fairy story as much as the next person. But for many of you in this room, I don't know whether you believe in fairy stories and believe in a happy ever after. And probably, if you've been involved in spiritualism or you've been involved in mediumship, often it's promised that the happy ever after is not in this life, but in the next. That, you know, happy ever after will be when we're gone. What about you? I'm not happy in waiting for a happy ever after. I prefer my happy ever after now, if anybody's listening. And yet we look at the next world as some kind of end or main event, that this bit that we're living before we die is just something to be gotten through as fast as possible so that actually we can go on the theme rides and the parks and do wonderful things in that other world. It's going to be fantastic. Well, I don't believe that. Because if that's happy ever after, well, what's this? Now, before anybody shouts, this is a place of work, this is a place of learning, a place of lessons, and basically this is a place of pain and suffering. Well, that's sad. If we are living in a place, certainly in a country, where generally speaking, there is enough food, enough fresh water, enough all of those things to keep us alive, then can we not make the most of the place that we're in before we go to the place that one day we shall all go to? Because if this is a place of pain and suffering constantly, and there are places around the world like that, but if this is where we are in this world, in the developed world, in the Western world, where on one level there is an abundance of stuff, because it's only in the Western world that you would actually have companies that would store your stuff for you. The idea of decluttering has never entered the minds of those people in the developing world. So, that being the case, for most of us here, we're in a place of, on one level, ridiculous opportunity. For most of us. So that being the case, how can we stop looking for a happy ever after and start actually making this moment that we're in a moment of a possibility of a happy moment? Now, as I said, a lot of people automatically think that next world is this gigantic spiritual theme park where it's free to get in, you know? And where you're just going to have a ball and everything's wonderful and you're going to go into the light and you're just going to go into the light. I'm not quite sure what you do in the light, but you're in the light. And that's great. Except that the biggest theme park, this place that you're in, this world, you are in the light now. I always find it fascinating. Do you ever watch those movies where you all see them and go into the light, go into the light, go into the light? Well, actually, from that other world that is the Spirit, they're shouting, you're already in it. You're in the light. You're not in some kind of darkness. This is not a darkness. Yes, terrible things happen in this world. Terrible, terrible, terrible things. But they're caused by people doing stuff. And yet, for all of the abject worry and terror that happens in the world, this is an amazing place to be in. So I'll ask you a question here. How are the chairs for you this morning? How are you finding them? They're okay? Yeah. Good. Because if you weren't comfortable, it's tough really. Because there's no other chairs. But aren't you lucky you've got a chair to sit in? Because very often today, ladies and gentlemen, we're in a world where we're always searching for that Goldilocks moment. Where it's not quite right. It's a bit too hot. It's a bit too cold. And I just want it my way. Brian and myself, we were actually teaching in Australia on a conference. And there was it 40 people on this course, I think? About 40 people. And so we're in this hotel, and it was a course where we were teaching mediumship and aspects of the spirit. And out of 40 people, there were 35 different dietary requirements. The chef was in therapy. 35 different dietary requirements. Because you got gluten-free, you got vegetarian, you got vegan but actually liked a bit of chicken. You got vegetarian, but vegetarian depending on what came out. I quite fancied that. And there's 1,001 different things. And the sad thing is that took away from those people who really had, challenges with diet. They, went into anaphylactic shock if they had peanuts or various things. Absolutely. But there weren't 35 people that had those particular issues. They were just a bunch of people that, I don't really want chicken today. Is there any beef? I'm not in an egg type of moment today. I'm more of asparagus. You got any asparagus? And the chef was going and saying, and he actually said, this is normal now. This isn't unusual, this is normal now. And the problem is that, why is this? Is because as a society, we have now become so intolerant of actually accepting that, I don't really quite fancy that today, but I'm eating it. These chairs that, they're not quite comfortable for me, but I've got a chair. This place is not the colour scheme that I would quite want, but it's got a roof. And ladies and gentlemen, why I suggest this to you is that within the experience of being alive, this is the main event. The next world is not the main show. This is. This world, in all its struggle, in all its suffering, in all its pain, is an amazing, amazing experience. And it's an amazing experience because you're here to understand and get that amazing experience. Now, some of you may know that Janet and Brian and myself, we were just down in Florida playing around in a theme park. And some of you may have seen one or two pictures we put up on Facebook, just a couple of them. And so the one day we went to go to this ride called Avatar. And some of you may have done it. I'm not going to tell you much about it in case some of you want to go on. Right? Now, myself, I'm not a roller coaster type of guy. I'm not one of these where you go on the rides, you go up and down, and say, end up screaming like a little girl. and it's not fun. So Brian, Janet, and myself, we go, okay, we're going to see Avatar. So when we got there's this huge, great lineup. But everybody says, you've got to do Avatar. My brother, who's a big Disney fan, says, you've got to do Avatar. we go and see Avatar. So we go in and you're snaking around and you're getting wonderful views of other people as you're lining up. And it was a short lineup. It only took us basically 2 hours. So, but it was an amazing experience because when you got there, you go through all of the drill and you have to then pretend to be something else, and they give you all of the spiel. You end up sitting in this chair that actually clamps you in, so you get all of these different sensors that give you the motion and all that kind of stuff. And then you have to sit and hold as if you're flying something. Put the goggles on and the whole screen comes up. And the next thing, again, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you do all of these amazing, amazing things. And Janet was outside, Brian was on the side, and I've got this other lady on the other side I've never met. And it was great. It's about a 7-minute ride, 10 minute ride. 5 minutes. And out of that, I saw 3 seconds. Because what I did, because I can't stand those things. I hate those type of rides. I loathe them. So I get frightened, and it just really scares me. And so what I did is that this lady who sat next to me, when she stopped screaming, I could open my eyes. So what I did is that she'd go, ah! And then she stopped screaming, and I could go, wow, that's amazing. And then she'd go, ah! It's quiet. Wow, that's fun. So, the result of this story, ladies and gentlemen, is that we lined up for basically 2 hours. For myself, a 3-second experience. Janet and Brian, it was amazing. It's a computer generation. It costs millions. It's a brilliant ride. I do advise you to go on it. But for me, it's just a nightmare of an experience. The graphics are fantastic. It was amazing, but I saw 3 seconds out of a 2-hour wait. You know something? Why it was worth it was because I was with friends. And they enjoyed it. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Just because I didn't like it, it wasn't my thing, it doesn't mean to say, therefore, I am right. But the memory for me, out of all that, and it's a memory that will be in my memory for years, not that I didn't see anything, basically, but I experienced it. And that's the thing. And if you are lucky enough to go through this life doing things that you don't like, accepting things you wouldn't normally do, but you've got other people to be at the side of you while they're taking place, then my goodness, you're lucky. If you are with people that go, well, it's not my thing, it's not what I would do, oh no, I would never eat that, or no, I couldn't possibly because, then you're with a person that may or may not support you. But if you've got somebody who can go, well, actually, it's not my thing, but I'll come with you. It's not my thing, but I'll be screaming all the way, but if you can hold my hand. And I didn't actually tell you about a previous ride, but actually Janet did hold my hand. It's true, actually. It's all right, it's fine, we're both ministers or something. And just purely support, because my hand was cramping. But at the end of the day, that's all it's about. If you don't like something, or it's not for you, or it isn't just quite right, then that's okay. But can you imagine dying, ladies and gentlemen, going to this real world, and God says to you, so how is this amazing life that I gave you? Because I know there was some really bad stuff that happened, and there were some really terrible things, and you lost people. I know that. That was life. But I gave you this life. How was it? We can either go, well, It was all right. The food, you know I don't do tomatoes, but you kept giving me tomatoes. And that salad dressing wasn't, and when in the early 21st century I do kale now, so, this God's going to go, you're worrying about kale? And you got potatoes? I put you in a country where there was food beyond imagination. And you're getting upset because it wasn't what you wanted on the menu. How about the rest of your life? Well, I would have put a much more of a greater view. Okay, I didn't put you by the beach, but you did incarnate somewhere where you had two parents that loved you. Okay, this is your sister, not so much, but hey. But overall, how was your life? Well, it was okay. Would you do it again? I don't think so. So you're telling me I breathe life into you, and I put you into a country where you had the most unbelievable opportunity, and you're telling me it was just okay. Okay. Well, you got one thing right. You won't do it again. It was a one-off. In that particular theme park, there was only one entry, not multiple. I put you in that world to go on all the rides. Some would make you laugh, some would make you cry, some would frighten you beyond all imagination. But the most important thing is, I gave you other people to hold your hand while you were on the rides that frightened you. Didn't you see that? Didn't you notice that? I gave you the world to